All right, that's perfect. All right, let's get things starting. So you want to explain to me how you started this like entrepreneurship journey? You wanted to like run your agency?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started this agency when I was 15. I started it when I was I think a freshman in high school during sort of the COVID time. And
Hmm.
school cut out. So I went on what do you call it, TikTok,
Yeah,
and I got hit with the entrepreneurial bugs. Found out about SEO, things like that. And eventually, I came across Iman Gadji on YouTube. Watched a lot of his videos during summer of think it was 2020 or 2019. I can't remember. I started cold calling. 3 months later, 6 days a week, 4 hours of cold calling, I got my first client. And then for the next 6 months, I started closing about one client a month. I think my biggest month in that sort of phase was like 1,500, 2K a month. And I was making that as a 15, 16-year old. I thought I was on top of the world. So
yeah.
yeah, started really from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And were you like kind of doing mostly like ads, like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and stuff like that?
Yeah, no. So when I first started, I was doing more social media management as opposed to ads. It wasn't until a year or two later that I started doing ads. I think I'm trying to think. I did social media management. Like they would send me content, I would just post it. So I would do content for mobile mechanics, car salespeople, agents, things like that. I know I had a painter client, a client who was a painter, um, as well. So I really started in social media management, posting the content that they gave me, and then I transitioned over to ads in the future.
Gotcha. And were you still like at school at that time? Were you doing like schoolwork and then trying to balance out the agency?
Not
Oh,
really. I just focused more on the agency than I did school. But yes, I was wasted. So I pretty much ran my agency while being in school, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah. So why did you want to like basically shift and focus on wholesaling? Did you find any like benefits that you thought about just shifting into like focusing really on just wholesalers and just helping
Yeah,
them get more deals done?
yeah, absolutely. So I get the question a lot about, how do I pick my niche? And my best advice is always find a niche that you're passionate and actually care about, in the sense where if you don't like the niche or you don't care about the niche, you're not gonna have a fun time, working in that niche, in my personal opinion. So for me, I found out about wholesaling and I couldn't do it because I was 16, because you have to sign contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, there's ways around it. You really want to go through all that. So I was like, why don't I run a marketing agency for wholesalers? Because it's vertically aligned. Because eventually I want to do investing anyways. It's just a gateway in. So it's vertically integrated, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, definitely. That way, like when you want to get in the future, you know everything how to market it and how you can get yourself deals and just
Exactly.
basically just
Exactly.
going from there.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly how
definitely.
I think about it.
Definitely. Yeah. And how old are you right now? So how
I'm
many
18
years
right
have you been? Oh,
now.
nice.
So I
So
started
like
when I was 15. I'm 18 now.
nice.
Mhm.
And you didn't like a lot of people like usually they start SMMA, then they switch to drop shipping, just trying to find the new actual way of making money. But what is like a reason that could just wanted just like made you just stick on focusing on SMMA or like one main thing? Did you have any like reason for that?
Yeah. So for me, I get really distracted easily. So I can't do two things at once, like as in two businesses. Um, at least give both of my energy and effort into both at the same time. Like I have things I do on the side. Like I flip real estate, but that's like I don't do anything there because I have partners that do that for me. But it's like minimal involvement on my end, right?
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it's like it's just me as a person. I like to focus on one thing and go all in on it, as opposed to doing four different things and trying to figure out what works. It's really a focus thing for me.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And how do you like kind of run your like daily routine? Do you have like a specific routine that you follow every day to make sure you hit like your goals?
I mean, sure. I mean, I have a process, I guess. So I typically wake up sometimes anywhere from 3:30 to as late as 6:30 in the morning. I guess it's inconsistent, but I just that's when my body wakes up. So I just try to wake up around there. Try not,
Mm.
I personally try not to rely on an alarm too much, but I have like a, what do you want to call it? Like a dead zone. Like if
Yeah,
I have alarm at like 7 a.m., like if I'm not up by then, it just goes off to wake me up, worst case. I wake up, I brush my teeth. Most people don't, but I do. Um, and then, I pretty much just get straight to work.
yeah,
I
definitely.
recently moved out here, this place. So I moved, so I don't have to drive to an office because I used to have an office here in downtown Houston. But then I so to wake up. I used to go to the gym in the morning and I kind of hate it.
Mm.
There's some days where I felt good, some days where I just hated it. So I actually shifted my gym to the afternoon or evening. This the workout is so much better, and there's better people around as opposed to just a bunch of old people.
Yeah,
But I wake up, I just get straight to work, and for me, I like to read, I like to watch courses and learn, and on top of that, I like to build because who the hell is going to bother me at 6:30 a.m. right? Nobody.
yeah,
So I get a lot of work done in the morning and then around 9:30-ish is my sales huddle. That's where I get on with the sales team, so where things at, training, call reviews, things like that. And then right after that, I have my meeting with my client success director. He manages everything. He's my direct report for the client success side, as opposed to talking to my media buyers or client
virtual
success people,
assistants.
or yeah, like the
Yeah,
back end sale, back end team, if you would. We check
yeah,
in, any client fires, anything that they need help with. I mean, we just hop on, we talk about where things are at. If they need my help with anything, if not, we just get off. And then from there, I just get straight back to work. I personally either so my first work block, if you call it, is on frontline stuff. So like sales or client success or things like that. And then later in the day is either training calls, building content strategies, things like that, meetings with other affiliate partners or whatever. So that's my sort of second work block. And around like 6:30, I'd say, I drive to the gym, work out until like 7:30 ish. And then I'll come back, shower. You can't see it, but I have a sauna out there on the balcony. I would take that
nice.
for 15 minutes and then shower, eat, sleep. It's pretty simple.
Mhm. So how much are you guys doing monthly right now on your agency?
So on an average month, I'll give you like average of last 3 months. The range I'd say anywhere from 80 to 110K a month.
All
It
right,
goes
that's
up and
awesome.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you have any like tips for hiring, especially because whenever it comes to hiring, you want to make sure you kind of pick specific people who you feel like they will actually do the work and push through. So what have you come up with some like kind of hiring tips?
So for me, I there are a few things. Number one, they have to be a culture fit. So I have four sort of values that I go after. Hiring values, if you would, not really core values, but hiring values that I go off of. So I hire for experience and not potential. Like somebody has actually done it. So we have a guy on our team. He's built sales teams, systems, processes for Fortune 500 companies. He's coached thousands of business owners. I hire people like that, and he's my direct report for the client success side, right? Because he keeps our clients happy, all the buyers, he manages that, as opposed to me, right? So I like to hire for experience, not potential. If you're starting out, yes, hire for potential because you can't pay for experience. And then culture fit, right? So for me, one of our core values is unassailable character. And the way we break that down is just the four main pillars, right? Extreme ownership, coachable, like coachability, whatever you want to call it, work ethic, and then leadership capabilities, right? So those are the four sort of like right after this call, I have a group interview with a bunch of setters. So those are sort of the four values that I go after whenever I personally go out and try to hire.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But
And mhm,
another thing on top of that is that just because you hire somebody with experience and potential, that's not the end all be all. You actually have to properly sell them on why they should work with you. Because if they're an A player, like they have to have a mission and vision as opposed to just money. And then it also comes down to you as a leader. Like if you're a shitty leader, like don't expect much. So leadership skills from you yourself is also very important. So that's how you'd manage and keep somebody on the team. Like for
Yeah,
client success, we have like zero turnover. Sales is a little bit different, but say client success, I have like zero turnover. You get fired, you don't quit.
yeah, definitely. So, like, how many clients do you guys have right now? Like working with you?
Uh, I'd have to check. Probably like
Mm.
D60. I honestly, I'm more on the sales side than I am the client success.
Sales side, yeah. So I'm gonna ask you, how can people get better at sales, especially since a lot of people like started this SMMA. So they don't want like so they don't see results immediately. Do you want to like get better just at sales in order to close like the
So
clients?
for me, what worked for me really well when it comes to getting better at sales is actually shift away from just sales because nowadays everybody just goes off scripts and stuff, but I focus on like how to properly communicate, right? How to properly influence. So I sort of switched that because there's tonality that makes a big impact. Your conviction. If you don't believe in your own product, then you're pretty much screwed. Another thing we focus on is pacing of the sales call. Like we pace it properly for different types of personalities. So that's something that we focus on. But for somebody starting out, honestly, the only thing you can do, in my opinion, is pay somebody that knows what they're doing to consult you and do a lot of reps. That's how I do it.
Gotcha, gotcha. And do you have any like book recommendations for people to properly communicate and influence?
Um, Books to read for sale. I've never read any sales books. I know Jeremy Miner has a book. He's his sales style is really good, super
Yeah.
solid. Yeah, I don't really read sales books, so I wouldn't be able to say anything.
Gotcha. What type of books do you read? Do you read like mostly personal development and
More business development. Like I read Hormozi's book. I'm reading a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. I used to read a lot of like mindset books, like what do you call it? How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Let me see what else I have. Another big book for me was Buy Back Your Time and Psycho Cybernetics. Yeah. So those books have been pretty helpful for
yeah,
me, I'll say.
yeah. So how do you go by like setting goals? How do you usually set your own goals just to make sure
That's a
you
great
know?
question. Yeah, so that's a great question. So obviously, are you asking me how I set goals or how do I achieve my goals?
Kind of both, because a lot of people like kind of just set those like really big goals and they be like they're not sure if they're gonna hit them or not, but then they just kind of set them and then whenever it comes to the work side of aspect kind of, they don't really do the work required in order to achieve that goal, you know?
Yeah, so for me, I set goals that are realistic, but I also set goals with the intention of hitting them, right? So some 15-year-old can't set a goal like I want to make 200 grand. You can. It's just like I don't want to doubt anybody, but like try to make it realistic, but also push yourself. Um, so like for me, one of my goals this year is to make 500,000 just from real estate. And with the real estate I'm doing right now, I literally don't do anything. So that's like 500K and just nothing money. So from there, I focus for me personally, I sort of reverse engineer what it takes for me to hit that goal. And I'll give you an example in a second here, but and then I focus on doing the inputs, right? So the way I personally the goal of doing 500K in profit from real estate is the output, and then the input is what you reverse engineer and you figure out how many deals you need to do at what price point, whatever, in order to hit that. For me, I figured out that I need to do anywhere from 2 to 3 deals per month in order to hit my goal of 500K, if not exceed it. Right. So for me, I focus on getting the 2 to 3 deals per month. That's what I focus on. Don't focus on your goal because, like, I can sit and stare at 500K, but if I don't do the actions necessary to take it, not much is going to happen. Right. Same
Yeah.
thing with you're hitting your sales goals in your agency. You want to hit 10K a month. Okay. How many clients is that? If you're charging 2K, that's 5 clients. Okay. Now, if you need 5 clients and you know that for every 1,000 messages that you send, get 1 client. So how can you figure out, or how can you send 5,000 messages a month? You break that down. That's however many a day. Focus on hitting and or exceeding that. That's all it is. Again, that's how I look at it. It's worked for me, I guess.
Yes, that's a really, really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, focus on
Got
the
it, got it.
inputs, not the outputs.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And how do you like become a better leader as you're growing your agency and you have multiple people like under you working and stuff?
Yeah. So the first mindset shift, it's funny because so I have a creative director and he gave me some things to talk about because I'm shooting content later today.
Okay.
Um, but the your question was how to become a better leader. So the mindset shift that I made was your team doesn't work for you, you work for them, right? So it's your job to give them all the necessary resources, trainings, support possible to help them perform at their specific goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something that has worked for me when it comes to being better leader.
Mm, that's a really good. Yeah, it's a really good aspect. All right. All right, now let's switch into kind of more wholesaling or real estate for the people who want to like kind of get started with that. So how can someone like actually get into wholesaling and real estate?
I wouldn't know because I don't wholesale. But if
Mm,
so, wholesaling and running an agency is the exact same thing. Most businesses, I personally believe if you can build and scale an agency properly, you can do pretty much any business out there. That's just my perspective because you learn all the skills necessary. But for me, what worked for me is I just knew a lot of right people. So I know a lot of people from the agency space that also happen to do real estate. So I had good connections and a lot of good opportunities came from there. So that's personally what worked for me because I can't say
mm,
I went out and started cold calling for deals because I've never done.
yeah,
Yeah, I've never
yeah,
done that.
definitely.
I'm sure you can though, because a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And kind of like, do you have like more ideas of how to like how people can get wholesaling deals? Do you have any like tips for that?
Yeah,
Or
wholesaling deals. Yeah, so for us, we focus. It's similar to running an agency, right? That's like asking
yeah,
how can you get clients? You can do paid ads. You can do, you know, cold calling. You can
outreach.
do outreach. Yeah, DMs. You know all this crap, right? For
Yeah.
wholesaling, you can cold call. You can text blast. You can do bandit signs. You can JV with people or do joint ventures with people. You could post billboards. You can do all this stuff. It's the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Where most people get it wrong is that they just don't do enough of it. Like they'll send 5 out signs and expect to get it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And what would like you think that you'll be at 5 to 10 years from now? Do you have any ideas? So,
5, 10 years. Well, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be 28. So hopefully, I I don't know. Hopefully, I have a rough idea of where I do want to be. Haven't narrowed down 10 years, but I've more narrowed down like 3 years. But 10 years from now, I would ideally sort of want to settle down, get married, that type of thing, start a family, 28, 30. That's just what I want personally.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, yeah. So, do you have any like since a lot of people like who are getting into the actual like business space like SMMA and stuff, do you know like any ideas how they can balance like work, school, college with running the business and actually like trying to make it successful?
Yeah. So the first thing for me, and this is where I believe a lot of people get it wrong, is that they want to start an agency with the intention of making money. Solely that. I'm gonna say I didn't start the agency to make money because I did, but you have to look more to it than just the money. That's just my opinion, right? Um, because if you just focus on the money, you're gonna quickly realize that once you have whatever amount, like it's like a game. Once you hit X amount, you tell yourself you're gonna be happy, right? Like if you're starting from nothing, you're like, once I hit $10,000 in the bank, I'll be happy. You hit it, now you want to go to 50, and then 100, and then 200, and then 500, etc. So it's a never ending game that you keep chasing. Um, so so if you're starting out, I would say start with a purpose. And if you actually don't want to go to college, sort of act like it in the sense where give your agency your all and don't treat it as a side hobby. That's just what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Also, like a lot of people kind of struggle whenever they want to like ask their parents that they don't really want to go to college and they want to
Yeah,
like
but their
get
parents are
into
gonna
full
stop them
time.
anyways. Yeah, their parents are gonna stop them anyways. My parents stopped me from doing it. I still did it. So it's just how
Yeah,
bad you. Yeah, it comes down to how bad you want
100%.
it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so what have like been the biggest learning experience you have learned over all these years,
Oh
would you
my
say?
God. This patience, consistency. Don't give up too early because right when you're about to give up, things get better.
Yeah,
Especially this was more in the earlier days. Now I don't really have any of this, but when you're in the beginning, it's hard because everything's going against you. Like everyone's rejecting you because you have no experience. Everything just sucks when you're starting out. You have no skills, you don't know what you're doing, you're just trying to figure it out, and not many people, if anybody, is going to give you a chance. So, it's corny as it sounds. A lot of Instagram quotes pushed me through the beginning days. Like you see those quotes where it's like,
definitely. Yeah,
there's the above the glacier and
the
then there's that
reels.
crap under it. Yeah. So there's all
Yeah,
that. And I'm like, I'm now starting to see that and I kind of understand it. I'm like, damn, this is actually true.
yeah,
So, just be patient and if you continue to put in the work and you just don't give up, it's just a matter of time until things crack.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That is
Also,
my personal opinion.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah. It'll be hard, but then like if you just stick enough to it, it will always like
Yeah.
just
Invest
on
in
its
mentors.
own.
If you don't know something, just pay somebody to figure it out for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used to one of the biggest issues that I had was I hated spending money. I hated investing in myself. But once you do it, you're gonna realize how fun it is. So
Yeah. How do people like know which person to invest in, like the right person to like buy their course?
yeah, the truth of the matter is for me, what I do is I pay people that don't offer coaching. And here's what I mean.
Mm,
There's a reason why there's good coaching programs out there. I'm not gonna say no to that. But in my personal opinion, somebody that doesn't actually offer coaching, like you reach out to them and you ask them like, "Hey, can you consult me?" They care less about their money. They just care about you wanting to win. That's my opinion, right? Um, because you pay a coach, you join a coaching program, whatever, and there are great ones out there. Trust me, I'm not going to say there's not. Um, but for me, I just pay people that actually don't. Like you notice, like they're actually doing the business. You pay those people to get consulting from. So that's how I
yeah,
personally pick my people.
yeah. And then how do you like build your network basically when you're starting out?
Um, so that's a great question. The easiest way to answer it is be somebody worth networking with, right? If you're starting from scratch and you have nothing to your name or anything like that, in the sense where you've never done anything, not many people are going to want to network with you. That's the truth. Not a lot of people are going to like that, but the easiest way to like if somebody's successful and they want to network with somebody, anybody, like there's some synergy there. Like you can network with somebody, right? But if you're starting from scratch and you're gonna go up to me or somebody and say like, "Hey, dude, I want to network with you," it's a two-sided. It's a the other person doesn't benefit, right? You benefit. You want to find or network with people where both parties benefit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's how I personally would
Mm,
network. That's how I personally did it. Yeah, to be somebody worth networking with. Because I had a friend of mine ask, well, he's not really a friend, he's just a mutual person that we met. He asked me something along the lines of like, hey, how do I build something and get as much attention like you? I'm like, do something worth getting attention of. So that's just my opinion.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think that's all of the questions that I have. Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for this. It's been really good. Really good. Do you have any
Appreciate
more
it.
questions?
No, not really. I mean, I see what you're doing is pretty smart, asking people to hop on your podcast, but yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people like even like me, I will like get benefit from that, especially since you guys have been doing this for years and know like a lot of really good stuff and tips and value. So yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And also like building your personal brand, like especially like these time of years, I heard it's been like really, really good. Just to
Oh
kind
yeah.
of go.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
smart. I mean, I understand why you do it, and it's really smart. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going out, you're asking people, and whoever's willing to give you time, yeah, it's smart.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you get back to work. I'll see you.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
Sounds good. Have a good
Oh,
day.
yeah, you too. See ya.